Okay, here we go. Unit 1, Lesson 3. So this is called Construction Techniques 1, Perpendicular Bisectors. Let's explore equal distances. So here we go. What will you need? You'll need a compass and a ruler or straight edge. But here are 2 points labeled A and B, and a line segment going between C and D, and it's called line segment CD. Number 1, mark 5 points, aka dots, that are a distance CD. We'll figure out that distance setting the compass to C and D. Anyway, they are that distance from point A. So let's just stop right there. And what do? Well, you put your compass sharp point on D, and then you move your pencil to C. So compass sharp point on D, pencil on C. Sorry. It's okay to make mistakes. Just see if I got it. A little too, tiny bit too big. Tiny bit too small. Yeah, it's about right there. Yeah, tiny bit more. Just to be precise. Alright, that's perfect. Now, what do? You tighten this now. Just so it doesn't move on you. So that'll represent the distance CD. So we got to mark 5 points CD away from A. So let's go. Let's do the little mark. Okay. Now I know that this distance is CD, and that's going to be that. All these 5 points that I marked are going to be CD away. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So perfect. Now, how could you describe all points that are a distance of CD away from A? Well, if you look at these points, you're going to start to notice this is starting to form a circle. So if we did all points, that would be a circle. Now with a circle, you need to name 2 things: the radius and the center. So let me build this. So all these distances are CD. Our radius then is CD. Our center is A. And that's number 1. Okay, number 2, mark 5 points that are this distance, CD, away from B. Now, do we even have to change the compass? No, because we're already set up for CD. But this time we're going away from B. So let's do the same thing we did. Put the point on B, start making some arcs. Okay, we need 5 of them. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now let's build the circle. Okay. Now, you have to answer this question. How could you describe all the points that are CD away from B? Well, that's another circle. Again with the circle, radius CD, center on this one is B. In a different color, mark all the points that are a distance CD away from both A and B at the same time. So you got to figure, okay, this represents all the points that are CD away from B. This circle represents all the points that are CD away from A, which means that there are two and only 2 points based on these circles where those 2 points are a distance of CD away from both of them at the same time. So now on that circle, this point and this point are equal distance from A as they are from B, equal distance from A as they are to B. Now, all the points that are equal distance from A and B at the same time are right here. And this is the different color. I'm gonna use black. So this line, extending in both directions forever, represents any point equal distance from A to B at the same time. And that is known as a let's write it. This line right here is a perpendicular bisector. So it bisects AB, line segment AB. So it cuts, and I'll even draw that to help you out. So line segment AB, this is the perpendicular bisector of line segment AB, meaning that any point on this line will be equal distance to A as it is to B. All right. This is number 3. Okay, great job. It's the first one. Let's go to number 2. Your teacher will mark points A and B on the floor where to stand, so you're the same distance from A as you are from B. So what we did in class is we had the desks set, and I had, that's too big, but I had, let me see if I can find a small rectangle, not really, so I'm gonna have to freehand this. But let me see if I can do it. Hang on. So it's not all messed up. So when we were in class, if you missed it, I had placed the 2 Kobe books. So Kobe wrote a book called The Mamba Mentality, which I love that book. There's so many things you can learn from that book. But anyway, I put 2 Kobe books So, we had the 2 Kobe Bryant books. Placed strategically in the classroom. So 2 Kobe books in the classroom. So we put them like basically in the front right corner and the front left corner. And then I had 3 volunteers stand equal distance away from both books. So I can show you where they would need to stand just real quick. Let me see if I can do this. It's gonna be hard. But anyway, people realize that if they stand like right in the middle, this was me right here. I was like, well, let me measure it, make sure I got this right. So yeah, 4 inches. So I was like right here. So this was me at the front of class, and I had placed the books like to my left and my right. I was facing the class. And then I picked 3 volunteers to stand equal distance from both books. And everybody realized that you had to stand like on this line right here. So, anyways, so we had like somebody was right here, somebody was like right here, and somebody was like right here. So we had three people that were equal distance to both Kobe books. Anyway, that's the human perpendicular bisector. All right, next one. 3.3, how well can you slice it? So use the tools available to find the perpendicular bisector of PQ. Remember, the perpendicular bisector, see, it bleeds through. You can even see it. This is the construction we have to do. So anytime you have like a segment, the perpendicular bisector goes right through the middle, and then it also creates a 90-degree angle. So we're just gonna do this construction that you can see through the page, I hope. So how do you do that? Well, you just set your points accordingly. That's looking close. Let me just double check. Tiny bit. All right, that's good. Okay, so I'm gonna build the first circle. Put the point on Q, put the pencil on P. So there's one. And then you just flip it around. So now you put the point on P and the pencil on Q. And you just build another one. It's the same size circle because the radius is the same. As long as your point, your sharp point is on P and your pencil is set to Q, you'll build the exact same circle, and then you just mark the intersection points there and there. And then last but not least, you just connect the dots. And that is a perpendicular bisector. You can draw the arrows here. It shows that it goes forever in both directions. So any point that's on this line will be equal distance to Q as it is P. And let's just try a few. So you see that point's the same distance to P as it is to Q. This point, same to Q as it is to P. So that was it. That is known as the perpendicular bisector construction, and you need to know how to do that. That's the perpendicular bisector construction. For the practice problems, you have to do all of these. So do all the lesson 3 practice problems. And these are all designed to be done on your own. Now this should help a little bit. Let's go over the summary. So a perpendicular bisector of a segment AB is a line through the midpoint of the segment that is perpendicular to it. Remember, recall that a right angle is the angle made when we divide a straight angle into two congruent angles. So a straight angle is 180 degrees. The 90-degree angle is half of 180. So there's two of them. A conjecture, this is a really important word in geometry. It's a guess that hasn't been proven. So we guessed that the perpendicular bisector of segment AB is the set of all points that are the same distance from A. So any point on this line, same distance from A as it is B. This turns out to be true. The perpendicular bisector of any segment, so any segment, can be constructed by finding points that are the same distance from the endpoints of the segment. Now, intersecting circles centered at each endpoint, A and B, the endpoints, can be used to find the points that are the same distance from each endpoint. Isn't that cool? Because circles show all the points that are a given distance from their center point. And these 2 points are on both circles. Those are the 2 points on the circles that are equal distance from the centers. And then the line between them represents all points. Anyway, that's the lesson. It was only 19 minutes, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.